Hi. How's it going? Hello. I didn't test my microphone before starting, so hopefully it's coming out the right thing. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to unplug stuff. We've had issues before. Hello. How are we all doing? Are we well? I'm glad you like the background music. That's, well, I say that as if I made it. It's called Breezy. It's a nice track. It's good to learn. Simple thing to learn on acoustic guitar if ever anyone wants to learn it. Yeah. How are we doing? Are we well? Hi Miss, hi Kiro, hi Jib, hi Dark. Hope we're all doing grand. And welcome to the Jimnale. The Jimnale. Yeah. Learn a skill, I know. Why ever would you want to learn a skill? Like making pizza dough or being good at art. I'm good me Viking. Okay, you do that. Good for you. I am I don't know. Hi King Vader. Pizza dough could still die a death. Well, it can with that attitude. Yeah. Welcome to the last Final Fantasy VIII Drawthrough stream. Yes, we have to wrap up everything in this. Don't worry, it won't take long. I finished the game today. I was doing a challenge thing, and I thought I better finish it before I do the Drawthrough, so I vaguely remember what's going on at the ending. I remember last time of the Final Fantasy VII one, and saying, hey, I haven't actually watched this cutscene very much. So, King Vader at the beginning of the stream. It's a sign of a good stream where we don't lose our minds. It'll be absolutely fine. Wrap it up with a bow or a bow. I'll do a bow at the end. Yeah. So I guess we better get cracking. There may be many reasons, but it does not matter. Oh, Dark just joined the chat. Hello, Dark. Thank you, Pot. So yeah, last time, nothing happened. Because last time was a completely different game. So if you recall, the time before that... Nope. There we are. The time before that, we travelled to the future with the power of love and friendship, and we made it to a flying castle in the sky, which is the castle of the sorceress STPP, who is the one who's been causing this whole mess, apparently, so we've been told. She's been the one possessing people in the past, using a machine derived from the abilities of Dishonored Jesse, and rather than killing the person who makes that machine, we've decided to travel to the future and kill the person in the future instead, which isn't going to stop her from having done that, but whatever. There are enough time travel shenanigans going on, it's fine. And last time we just fought our way through this castle to get to the end. That's all you need to know. We met a lot of friends along the way, but other than that. Yeah, so now we have to actually face STPP proper, who's just sort of at the end of a bridge that's sort of disconnected from the rest of the castle. I don't know what the castle's for. She doesn't want to go in it. She's got her own little annex at the back. But once you get there, we find her on a throne. Yes, she's well. Let's get some symmetry going here. Some symmetry and some perspective. And there's all sorts of weird stuff and decorations and like sort of bits of cloth floating in the breeze and all that. I don't know what the throne looks like, it's just the throne. But it's a big one. More calming music. This is exactly what we need for this sort of thing. Okay, now I actually have to draw her in perspective. Didn't think about this. It looks very thrown together. Oh, miss. You and your puns. So yeah, we all having a good start to the week. I don't know what happened to yesterday. Just sort of disappeared. But I guess I was making a video for most of it. Yeah, whatever. I gotta actually draw her at some point, because I can't really delay it much further. Okay, what does she look like? She look like Rita Repulsa, right? Nope, turn off, thank you. Well, actually, I can do it on a different layer, that's fine. You've had 2 panic attacks this week, that's not great. Oh, you're doing great. No, that's alright then. No, it's not alright. No, I hope you're at least recovering well from them. Sort of. I think remember she's kind of barefoot, but at the same time there's some weird corruption stuff going on with her feet. This was when I was looking at drawing the dress. Turn this down a tad so we can see what we're doing. Sending many hugs. Been very productive. Yesterday was a bust for you. Came home from work, had a shower, decided to lay down for half an hour. Then your cat came and lay against your chest, lost 4 hours to an impromptu nap. Cats do that. They're a bad influence. So yeah, terms of service is feet. It's not my fault. Also, she's got that weird dress that sort of goes down here, and she has a sort of Rita Repulsa thing going on.
Feet pics.
Feet pics. She's got like claw-like fingers. Bear in mind, we haven't actually seen her at this point in the game. We've seen like a ghostly vision of her, but this is the first time we've actually seen her. She's got like weird sort of bobble sleeves on the dress. Obviously, female Japanese villain, gotta be cleavage. Her face looks quite unremarkable, to be honest, apart from the sort of corruption sort of creeping up from the neck. Is she 9 foot taller than a vampire? I think she's just the size of a person. Which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. Accept all hugs. Quick, everybody, post hug gifs. She has hair, doesn't she? I think she does, but I don't know what's going on with it. I think she's got like sort of stuff coming out of her eyes as well, like that. And she's like, ah, the seed are here, filthy seed. You know how many of you I've killed? Bloody seed, honestly, oh, typical. Try and have a nice relaxing weekend on my own, in my castle. And bloody seed turn up. Unfortunately, because you refuse to learn how to give, it's not a good system, like. It's a cobbled together system because I missed how the way Mixer did it. I think this is her hair as well, but it's just sort of been tied up in ribbons. Hey, that they're called that. It's not my fault. Oh, do you know what? We might work out who's to blame for that today. If you want someone to blame for the word seed, stick around. I don't think she has hair. She does now. It's fine. It was King Vader. Alas, no. But we do know that... I don't think we ever gave him a name. We do know that people can travel between dimensions and games in this series, so... Maybe King Vader is multi-game-mentional. It's like dimensional, but games. Because I'm smart like that. Anyway... So she's here with her bare feet, being all condescending and saying, oh, I don't like you at all. She also speaks, I think, in capital letters and replaces all C's with K's, which makes no phonetic difference to how people actually speak. So she talks about time compression. Which is, if you don't remember what the whole story is about, what she's trying to do, she's trying to compress time. What does that mean? Don't know. King Vader is in all games with sexual innuendos. So pretty much all games then. So yeah, she says that, and then she gets down from her throne, and then we fight. Because character development is for chumps. Yeah, there is literally nothing remarkable about us meeting this person at all. We're just sort of here, standing. We don't even say anything back. Just sort of happens. How many times have I drawn Simon from the back? And it never looks right. That's probably got something to do with the fact that I don't draw it right. I mean, I guess there is like a thematic connection between, you know, Simon has a fur collar, she has a fur collar. Ooh. Oh, she has a feather collar. Feathers are also a motif in this game. I don't think I've ever really mentioned it because it doesn't come up. It comes up at the beginning and the end. That's about it. Yeah, feathers. Why? Black feathers for bad, white feathers for good. How do you draw, I don't know. Hair. It's an angry man with a moustache. That's not a thematic connection. Look, I should, okay. On the back of Cheery's dress thing is a little motif of like angel wings. Like that. You can't see it because it's really low poly, but it's supposed to be there. Also, Jive's real name is connected to Angel's very brief. Not really, I mean, it is just a name. But, anyway. And then we do a fight. But before that, are you ready for one last disappointment? I have here some props. Haha! I was going to set up the webcam, but it's not really worth it. I have dice. 3d6. We have 6 characters. And for reasons unbeknown to me, in the final battle, you don't get to choose who you fight with. So, let's put them in the order that we met them. So 1 is going to be Simon, 2 is going to be Velma, I guess, 3 Pikachu, 4 Jenny, 5 Cheery, 6 McCree. So memorable. Yeah, no, you don't get to choose. Your final battle will take place amongst characters who you have no control over. So, what do we got? What am I going to draw? I'm going to draw. One of them's a repeat. Let's redo that. That's the same number. Ah, fell off the desk. And let me do it where you can actually hear the clang. That's nice. Right, what's this then? This is Pikachu, Jenny, and McCree. That's not terrible. As groups go, that's not bad. We've got the bowling pin twins. That's nice. Okay, sure. Let's do this. That could have been so much worse. Yeah, could have been Velma. Bowling pin friends and that one pin head. Sacrifice McCree. Okay, so this is another mechanic in this final battle. I'll just draw these guys just having a fight. You can just let characters die in this fight, and that's usually what I do. But what happens usually when a character dies in a fight, they just stay on the floor until you heal them or finish the fight. Not so here. If they die in this fight, they get removed from time. So, in a sense, it would have been better if Velma was here, just so we could let that happen. But, oh well, these things happen. So yeah, the character gets removed from time and then it cycles in somebody else. So if you just end up with a bunch of characters you don't care about, just let them die. And oh no! Pushes McCree forward. I love how McCree's story just stopped at disc 1. He just hasn't had anything else to do, apart from be the one who remembers the orphanage. Because everybody loved that. It's not even like we get like a rousing speech of each character going, oh, I have overcome my anxieties and we are here to... No, there's nothing. These characters do nothing at this point. Are we going to do a full Zayu of this? Maybe we should do that on Tuesdays for a bit. How do you hold guns? Oh, today's a bad art day, by the way. Bad art day TM. So you're gonna get what you get. I don't really have all that much to draw, generally speaking, over the course of this. I mean, this, as is typical for a Final Fantasy game, the final boss is actually 4 bosses. Hell yeah, I love Bad Art Day. TM curse you with Bad Art Day. Thought she wasn't a sorceress anymore. We'll get to that. Yes, I can say that in the final episode. In the final stream, I can still say we'll get to that. It's my favourite bit of the story, now that I realise it's a thing. What was you had just sort of cowboy thing going on. Why do this again? Bad art day. Don't mind me. We'll get to the actual bosses that are happening. They're stupid, so don't worry about it. Do you wanna hazard a guess as to what they are while I'm doing this? Do you wanna hazard a guess as to what the again? It's a 4-stage thing. Usually in Final Fantasy games, it's a bit of a tradition for at least one of them to be an amalgamation of a bunch of stuff. So like in the Final Fantasy VII, there was that one which was just basically big Jessiroth and small Jessiroth stuck together. Interestingly, actually, the final form of this, relatively uncommon for Final Fantasy games. The final form is symmetrical, which is not typical. But handy for me, because that means I only have to draw half of it. Also, I'm not going to be able to draw it correctly, so... he's got like cowboy boots, I guess. Spurs. What a wide stance you have there, Mr. McCree. Pretends she doesn't see the commission staring at her from the corner of the room? The what? Ignore that? Okay, cool. That's something I can do. Oh, it's from a while back. Okay, look. I'm bad. It's fine. Anyway. One last bowling pin. For old time's sake. I would argue that there is a main mechanic to these fights, which is a bit unique, because it uses the junctioning system that you have. Oh, hey, that's nice. This song's coming on a little bit early, but that's nice. It's fine. We judge you harshly. Good. Also got his weird tattoo. It's actually quite nice that we have Jenny in the party, because she can just one-shot the final boss, which is nice. Again, Jenny. Some of the most powerful magic in the game. Not a sorceress. Weird. Yeah. I don't know how do overalls work on a bowling pin, not sure. Anywho. Jenny's just special like that, yeah. Okay, phase 1. It's just the sorceress. She's just sort of here. She's just sort of standing there, not doing much. What joy, what fun. Excitement, prizes to be won. Yeah, there's not really this. She has annoying moves. She cuts your health down by a fraction. She got sort of very long cleavage because of the dress. She also doesn't look anything like this, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. That's alright. She's going to look even weirder in a bit. Yeah, I don't know. She does the magic stuff. It's about as remarkable as it gets. It's pretty much a slightly more powerful version of the time you fought TM and then knocked her unconscious. Knocked the sorceress out of her. She does gravity magic and stuff. I guess we can simulate that. Doesn't really work, does it? I'm trying here. Close enough. Love living with a 7-year-old. He barreled into your room to show his bruises from sledging. Is very proud. No. Bruises! Look! I'm mortal! Children love showing off that. Love this dramatic lady. This is STPP. She's here to... She has very low cleavage now that I look at it. Can you tell this is not my area of expertise? This is the dress that joins at the crotch, by the way. So I don't know what's holding the boobs in, but they're there. He has many, a solid collection. Oh. Some ladies have low cleavage, don't be judging. No, it's just compared to the original. It's Hitman's dress, yes, exactly. It's Agent 47's dress. She borrowed it. She's from the future. Right. Now that the sensible one's over, we need to go back a bit. How many of you remember this from just before the end of Disc 2? Let's see if we can find it. That was the Orphanage of Plot Convenience, so it was just a bit after that. How many of you remember... Just before... Hey, non-binarity, how you doing? You're out of the game now. Well done. Actually, I will be drawing them later, but that's... whatever. There's a slap fight. There's Kyle, how you doing? What's his face is retiring. Oh yeah, it was just after this, wasn't it? There. How many of you remember Klefki? Because what happens now is STPP decides to summon the most powerful Pokemon of them all, or something along those lines. There is a bit of a translation issue here, but we'll get into that. And it's Klefki. There's just no way of getting around it. It's Klefki. So yeah, I'm gonna draw Klefki now. In the English version of the game, there's no explanation for this. It's just Klefki. So let's try and draw a version of Klefki, shall we? Fury stole it from us, we gave it to her. Don't know if she ever gave it back. She made a copy, if I remember correctly. Because that's, if you remember, if we go back to Space. Space! Where are we? So it's after that. When she was floating around in space. Just before that. Come on, where are we? Oh, okay, evidently I didn't draw that. I thought I did. Oh no, I drew it here. Here she is. She's floating around in space, and she's got she has key ring around her neck for some reason. Because it's a reminder of her love for Simon. And that was the last thing. That's what gave her hope to stick on to life or something. I don't know. Stupid anime plot. Anyway, turns out it's a big monster. So I've now got to try and make a version of this. This is why, if you go back to the VOD that I did this, I might have laughed when I drew this. And that's because I knew what I'd have to do today. So yeah, in the original version of the game, there is an explanation for this. So it's mentioned more in the game that the reason Simon has this sort of motif, it's supposed to be a lion. Evidently I can draw lions very well. But the reason he has this sort of thing about lions, and that's why he's got the big fluffy collar, because it's like a lion's mane, is because he admires their pride or something. It's something like that. Anyway, and what STPP basically does is she reaches into Simon's mind and goes, I will make the thing that you think is the strongest, and I will make it manifest so that the stronger, the stronger that you are made by that thing, the stronger your opponent will be, if that makes sense. It doesn't actually have any bearing on what happens in the game, it's just a thing. So she's basically trying to use your strength against you by summoning a Klefki lion thing. So this is one of the final bosses. Also, I'm going to give it a little ring on its head. Why not? This is the best music. Oh, did I ever point out, as we were doing these, I seem to remember saying, why is this music so weird? And then I sort of worked it out one day. I'm assuming it has something going on in the crotch, otherwise it's just a crotch. Let's go with a bit of tasteful fur. Does it have a tail? Probably. It's a lion, isn't it? Anyway, so this is Klefki. One of the final bosses of the game, based on a keyring from earlier in the game that had no real significance. It's a bad drawing day. This guy's big. Also, the ground, we're sort of on just a bit of floating ground at this point because it's the final boss, so of course we are. Yeah, so this music, the reason it's weird, apart from the fact that it's the music of the future city, but it makes sense because, hey, guess who's president of the future city? Yeah, that's right, it's Jimmy. Of course Jimmy's music's going to be like this. You come back to furry art. Well, say hello to Klefki. Do you remember the keyring from earlier in the game? Yeah, that's a boss now. Why? I don't know. It is quite strong. Has an attack called Shockwave Pulsar, which is pretty... I say it's strong, I think Velma has it as well, so it's not that strong. This is what I'm doing. It has wings. I don't remember what the wings look like. So I'm just going to do what I usually do with wings. Instead of going, oh, I don't know, I've drawn it at a bad angle for wings. It's probably feathered wings, knowing the motif of the game, but it's fine, don't worry about it. Oh, let's go feathered, why not? You get that it's a Pokemon, that makes somewhat sense, family heirloom, whatever, but how does the sorceress use it? Also, where did she get it from? Those are good questions, let me know when you find answers. They're also like, what am I doing here? I don't know, the plot isn't anywhere near as much as you do. Yeah, I don't know. Again, the explanation is like she reached into Simon's mind, who's not here, by the way. Reached into Simon's mind, and this is what she found. This is what's going on in Simon's brain, apparently. And this is where we get the music, Maybe I'm a Lion. Don't really know what that's about. Right. That's phase 2. What do you think phase 3 is? I'll let you hazard a guess. It's not very imaginative. Just give my hand a bit of a stretch. Ah! Oh, I thought we dropped 420 frames there. It's 430. They morph together. Oh, what an imaginative idea. Let's try that, shall we? So there is a slight Klefki but 2 heads and 2 tails. You were half right. So now, yeah, martial law. Have I mentioned I like this track? as is Final Fantasy tradition, they morph together. I guess technically this is a 5-phase fight. I'm gonna need that for reference. Actually, I'm gonna need that for reference. I meant to draw it more facing that way, but I failed. Okay, so how's this gonna work? No, hang on. How do muscles work? I don't know. Hostia! So this is the first head. And much like the fight that we had with copyright, yeah, I've done these wrong. Don't worry about it. As if any of this is right. Yeah, this is the second one. So what she does in ways that are absolutely not explained. I've mentioned the word junction before. Junctioning is the act of basically attaching Pokemon to yourself. And attaching magic to yourself to improve and all that sort of stuff. STPP junctions, rather than junctioning Klefki to herself to make herself more powerful, she junctions herself to Klefki, and so just sort of becomes, just sort of melds into it a bit. Copyright doesn't like that song, so we move on. Also, why are there no characters in these games who have like a lot of makeup but are nice? All the ones that wear sort of intimidating amounts of makeup, they're always evil. Seems unfair. So yeah, Phase 3, much as you would expect, it's an amalgamation of the two. Here's the patented crispy pose of, I don't know what's going on here. Don't look at me. Even though you did it, STPP. This is your fault. Not nice and innocent if you wear a lot of makeup. I mean, to be fair, TM is now our friend. But we will find out slightly later that she does abandon the makeup look. So you're trying to think of any FF characters who wear lots of makeup and are good. Yeah, you got nothing. Like, to be fair, and by to be fair I mean it's not really fair actually. It's just my situation. I don't really know what's going on with the back half of this thing, by the way. I'm assuming it's still got wings. I can't remember, to be honest. I do get this, and this is obviously, you know, not to tell anyone what to be doing with their face and their lives and all these sorts of things, but when I see people who wear a lot of makeup, I do get a kind of an uncanny valley sort of thing, where I'm like, oh, I can't see your face, I can't see your face. There's this, like, sort of skin of paint in front of it, and it's, I imagine it's the same sort of thing that people who don't like beards feel. And oddly enough, I'm fine with beards, as you might guess. So yeah, maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a kind of, I don't know. Maybe it goes also in hand with the kind of, oh, evil people are ugly and good people are beautiful. And so you have to wear a lot of makeup if you're evil, or something like that. What I'm saying is there's a lot of sort of knee-jerk prejudice going on behind the scenes of this sort of thing. Yeah, anyway, I don't know what's going on with the back of this thing. It's like a weird tail that's got, like, sort of bits coming off it. I don't know why that happens when they connect together. Is this supposed to be like the trail of the dress or something? I don't know. Sort of. You can make this work, like, I don't know. So yeah, if anybody's got any way of allowing me to get over that feeling, that uncanny valley feeling, because it does make me feel bad. Also, I want to point out this is floating. Like, I don't know what it's resting its arms on, but they wanted the pose, I guess. This is just sort of, there's just clouds going around here. It's a lovely biblical scene, as is typical for these end fights. It does make me feel bad when I have a sort of visceral reaction to something that somebody just chooses to do with their body. It's like, it's not on me, but it does just fill me with unease. Unjustly. I think it's at this point in the fight that they start taking your magic away. I don't think I've really hit home the importance of magic in this game. Usually lots of makeup is connected to that natural equals good type of deal. Yeah. Nature ain't good. Nature's a pain in the backside. Nature's the reason we're locked down. Bloody viruses, honestly. What was I saying? Yes, magic. Also, there's usually a bit of coding villains like queer people. That does happen, yes. Anything that's kind of other becomes evil. Usually there's a lot of makeup, yeah. Magic. In this game, you can equip magic. You can junction magic. There's that word again. Junction magic to your stats. So if you want to be stronger, you junction your magic to strength. If you want to have more health, you junction your magic to health. And that's basically better than leveling up, because leveling up in this game makes everything else harder. So that's your kind of leveling up system. The better magic you junction and the more appropriate magic you junction, so healing magic to health, etc., the stronger the effect. In the middle of this fight, inexplicably, the boss just starts taking away your magic, and you can't get it back. So all your stats start going down, and it's completely random as to which ones go and which ones don't. So this is a very much an RNG fight. 3 fights into a 4-fight final boss. Not a fan. But you know, these things happen. I'm so glad we had this design for Klefki. Look at us, so happy. So yeah, I'm the ultimate Pokemon. Yeah. Halfway through, this bit just sort of falls off. So yeah, like that. Again, I don't know why. They wanted another change. Also, it summoned some weird squiggles. I'm not entirely sure what these things do. Maybe they heal the boss or something? I can't remember. Similar sort of thing happens in Final Fantasy X, actually. You support him. He's having a good time. Yeah. Right. So we've done the Sorceress. We've done Weird Monster. We've done the combination of the two. Now what happens? Now we get to the good old Final Fantasy weirdness. If you didn't think it was weird before, now it is, because what happens now? Well, actually, no, we don't need that. There's no ground here, because what happens now is everything just sort of goes black. And the music just stops. And you're like, what's going on? What's happening? And we're just sort of standing in space at this point. And then the actual final boss turns up. I wanted to use symmetry for this, and this is not a good angle for that. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. No, I'll do it properly. This is when like the proper final boss music starts playing. Pretty sure at this point all trace of Klefki. Klefki's been defeated at this point. We're now just back to the Sorceress. Remember, it's all rectangles, absolutely. In fact, I don't think there's a straight line in this whole picture, so. Let's play the music that plays at this bit. There we go. It's called The Extreme. Why? They wanted it to sound cool. And now, I draw the boss. So I guess the first place to start is all of space. Let's get that symmetry going. Boom. Wonderful. So at the bottom of this is a pretty cool effect. So basically time compression starts happening at this point, and all of the powerful stuff is going on, and she's like, oh, I'm going to devour the entire universe. Why not? I'm here. And essentially what happens is all the stars and all the planets, whoops, give you guys just a little bit of breathing room. Like that. All the stars and all the planets just sort of start getting absorbed up into the boss. They just sort of, they make their way sort of up that way. It's a pretty neat effect for the PlayStation 1. It's not really noticeable, but it's there. I need to make all of this much smaller. Let's make this bigger. Taller, thinner, harder, faster, better, stronger.
Slurp up space.
Slurp up space. At the bottom of your weird dress. Right, how am I going to draw this? Oh, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to draw this. Okay, let's start with the obvious. So here's the face. Or I guess it's more accurate to say here's the head. Because it's not really got a face anymore. It's just kind of a hole where a face used to be. I think actually no, I think there's like a weird shining orb in the middle of it. Which is a bit strange. And then there's some sort of weird sort of oh, what's his name? Come on, this could have been funny, Chris. Nope, it's gone. What's the guy who does the character designs in Final Fantasy games? I've got Yoshitaka Amano stuck in my head, and he doesn't. Well, he kind of does, but not really. I watched a documentary about Amano recently, and he's just living his best life. And while I don't really like his art style, I'm so pleased that he's just kind of doing what he's doing. I'm still trying to think of his name. What's his name? Help! Yeah, you just looked up. That's a thing. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this design, and I'm not going to be able to do it all justice. So that's sort of like some weird. Oh, it's really annoying me. Tetsuya Nomura. That's his name. Yes, there we go. Thank you, miss. Right, just at the same time. Yes, Tetsuya Nomura. These are Tetsuya Nomura doodles, because he likes these sorts of shapes. To be fair, I used to doodle stuff like that in books when I was younger, although that's probably to do with the fact that I like Final Fantasy. So, and Google. Yeah, Google. So yeah, I will say, as much as it has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the game, as a final boss design, this is pretty cool. Certainly for the limitations. Like, if you sort of look at it, I guess if you look too closely, you'll see there's not a lot of polygons going on and all that sort of stuff. But it's quite different from previous final boss designs. It's not just, you know, oh, an angel or a biblical series of statues or a whole bunch of stuff just smushed together, because why not? It is actually something sort of different. I don't know whether they are, but I always imagined this sort of, the arms of this thing are sort of bound, like they're trying to lift them up, but it's not working. Something like that. Yeah, and she starts saying some ominous stuff about how time is going to end, and you're going to forget everything, and all of your childhood memories will be gone, and so on and so forth. She's not very optimistic about things at this point. I'm sure there's some weird like, is there some stuff going on out here? Probably. Again, I'm kind of winging it because there's just too much detail to remember. But again, also symmetrical, which is unlike final boss designs usually in these games. And, you know, not a tree. I love 5, but why is the final boss a tree? I mean, it's not. It's the penultimate boss, but the final boss is just a mass of pixels, as is typical. This seems appropriate music. Probably also some wing things going on. And then, yep. We have, I guess, like, the normal body of STPP, just sort of bound upside down underneath this thing. Something that will be used to a better effect in a later Final Fantasy game. The symmetrical brush isn't going to help me here. I've got to have an arm crossing over each other. No, not necessarily. I can bandage them up or something. Yeah, so that's about it. Now one of the things, there's a lot I like about this, and one of the things I like is that before you kill this thing, once you've dealt as much damage as you can, she starts saying things about how are you going to lose all your memories, how time is going to collapse, all these sorts of things. But what's interesting is that in order to progress her dialogue, you have to attack her. So her dialogue sort of split up into chunks, and so she says something like, "You will lose everything of yourself." Then you attack her, and she says, "There is no hope for anyone." And then you attack her, and then she says, "Your childhood will mean nothing." And then you attack her, and then she says, and then you attack her, and then she dies. I quite like that. I quite like that the last thing she says is "and," which is. There's something kind of, I don't know, I quite like that. It's quite fitting for this game that it doesn't actually get round to explaining itself. But yeah, her final words are "and." Yeah, and that's the same in the Japanese version. I checked. That's a deliberate choice. This game is all about uncertainty, whether they wanted it to be or not. Also, our childhood in this game never meant anything to begin with. Try hard. Or did it not? Yeah, for now that she is dead, the cosmos is still melting because of her powers. By the way, we finished the game. The cosmos is melting because of her powers, and we need to get back to our time, and we need to hold together and all these sorts of things. So what happens at this point is the black void turns into a white void for stylistic reasons, and everyone's just sort of lost in their own little void. So if I remember correctly, we've just got sort of Jesse McCree running back here. And they're all running around trying to find each other as they, where has everybody gone? Reality is collapsing. Yeah, so congratulations, we beat the game. But we still have post-credit sequence to go. I hope you liked the culmination of the story with STPP. That's the end of it. Nothing else happens with regards to her or time compression. Also, we fought the sorceress with Jenny, Sonic, and McCree, right? With Jenny, Pikachu, and McCree. What were the others doing in the meantime? Playing cards? I don't know, actually. That's a good question. My assumption is that they're being held back by some magical force or something, but I don't know why they can suddenly go forward if their friend dies. It's just they're like a post office waiting queue. Battle slot number 3, please. How do people run? How does Jesse McCree run? This doesn't matter all that much. But basically everyone's running around a white void and saying, we need to remember each other and love and friendship and think of a place that we can all go to so that we can survive this whole ordeal. They all shouted not it fast enough. Messing up your Final Fantasy names, that's fine. I do it all the time. This is how Jesse McCree runs canonically. I've never had any recourse to draw Jesse McCree doing anything up until now. So it's nice to see that. Look at him go. He was thinking of the better one. Well, yeah. Honestly, amazed you can remember all the names often enough, especially since you're remembering 2 versions for each game. I know, just like, for some reason, Simon. I'm now used to saying Simon, but for some reason that just... this music is perfect. Yeah, I don't know why. Simon and Cheery, the 2 main characters of the game, arguably. Well, according to the creators of the game, anyway. Jesse McCree runs like he's about to miss his train, but doesn't quite want to run, but is running regardless. I've done that a few times. Yeah, so characters are just sort of running around in their own little thing. They're going, no, we need to go somewhere to love and friendship. Stay together, keep your brain. Which actually, now I think about it, it's quite funny. There's a whole sequence that's going to happen in a second that is now quite funny, now that I think about it. Love and friendship! Why does she remind me of Quentin Tarantino? Is that just me? Probably just me. She's like, I've got arms! I'm not supposed to have arms, I'm a bowling pin. It comes to something when, like, the best characters in this Drawthrough have been characters that don't even have anything going on, they're just bowling pins. That's why we like them. You've done this run on several occasions, yeah. Simon, think of the things that bound us together. Love and friendship for the win. McCree. Fuck my train! I forgot to mention. Crap, the ticket runs out in like 10 minutes. I can't get the next one. It doesn't stop at my stop. Funnily enough, the first thing we do when we get Jesse McCree is we just ride a train out of where they're from, so I guess that makes sense. Why am I trying to add musculature to this? Ah! Like that, and I don't know, Pikachu's upside down or something. Needs to catch his train to get an award for beating the speedrun record for Snake. Yeah. He's earned his own achievements in this game. Here's Velma. Who else? Jerry. And Cheery's going, oh, I know where I'll go. I'll go to that field of flowers that we agreed to go to just before this part of the game because, you know, foreshadowing, we have to foreshadow very, very close to the thing that we're foreshadowing, otherwise people will forget. So she's like, I'm going to go to the field of flowers. I know that's going to work out fine. It's going to be great. Posture! Anatomy! It's a fist, don't worry about it. I drew the final boss quite well, I'm fine. The rest of this is going to be a mess. Anything that isn't human, I'm pretty good at. Which is a bugger, because I'm trying to work out how to do commissions. And I'm having quite a lot of trouble drawing humans. How do you draw humans? It's a pain in the ass. This is where the complications of her dress don't quite work out. How do dresses work on people who are running? I don't want to have to work this out right now. Why are your legs so short? Tell me when you figure it out. I mean, you're going to be waiting a while. Anyways, she's running. But, while all this is happening... Let's do this for symmetry. Where's Simon? Where's Simon in all this? And Cheery's like, oh, I'm going to go to the field of flowers. And Simon's like... I'm an idiot. I don't know what's going on. So he winds up somewhere familiar. I don't know, he's still playing cards. A lot of players at this point are still playing cards, but... Oh, I've just realised this music's probably going to get me a copyright claim. Oh, I've lost interest at this point. A bit, I guess technically the fact that the Field of Flowers is over here, but that's not relevant to what's going on. So let's get rid of this for the sake of storytelling, and then put a door here. So he arrives back at the orphanage because he apparently completely forgot about the promise that he made to Cheery. So he's like, oh, and he winds back up at the orphanage. I love that. I love that. Canonically, he just forgets. True love. Again, like, these things go over your head when you're just sort of watching cutscenes happen. But when you try and explain it, you're like, hang on. Is there any reason he doesn't go to the Field of Flowers? I don't think he mentions it. He mentions being confused and not knowing where to go, but... But it gets better. That's not the thing I was talking about that I realised makes this really stupid. Actually, there's several things that make this really stupid, including this scene. So, keep an eye out. By which I mean pay attention. Okay, so this is the orphanage, the orphanarium. The orphanage of plot convenience. Never has it been more truly named, because while we're here, Simon is here. How am I going to do this? It's going to be a lot of moving around. You ready for the stupid? You ready for the stupid? Okay, let's do semi-transparent background. Draw characters in front. So Simon's like, ugh, where am I? Why am I here? This isn't the Field of Flowers that I promised my one true love I would go to. This isn't right. Or maybe that was the hidden message all the time. He said that he would meet... He said, oh, I'm gonna meet you by the Field of Flowers if we ever get lost. But he was actually thinking to himself, maybe I'm a lion. There we go! 20-year-old pun. You don't have a one true love anymore, mate? There we go. Boo! I deserve boos, don't worry. The Drawthrough was worth it for that bad joke. Right. Why am I here? And the audience is like, I don't know. What's this got to do with anything? Well, I guess it makes sense. Oh yeah, we'll meet at the orphanage. You know, think of a place that connects us all together. Oh yes, the orphanarium. Even though that didn't connect him to Cheery. That's another reason he... another bit of evidence he doesn't actually care about Cheery. When they said, we need to find a place that connects us all together. He just thought of a place that has no reference to Cheery whatsoever. My one true love, who I met like 2 weeks ago and couldn't stand until 3 days ago when I busted her out of prison without consent. Well, if you put it like that, to quote myself, if you're going to start making sense, I'm going to have to start ignoring you. Ah, overworld music.
Tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time. Right, so we're here. Who else is here? Children. It's an orphanage. Yeah, there you reference your good Hitman highlights video right now. I know, the one that just went public for people who aren't patrons. It's on the Crispy Parsnips YouTube channel right now. They're anything like the Grim Fandango kids, I swear. I mean, maybe they're going to be annoying because this is Simon. This is baby Simon. It's what the Grim Fandango kids look like if they were still alive. Well, I guess the feather motif, they've got wings. Does that make sense? Anyway, yeah, this is baby Simon. He's running around going, big sis, where are you? Where have you gone? Where are you going? Because if you remember correctly, if you remember, his big sis when he was a kid was Dishonored Jesse, who got abducted by Estes for experiments. And he was a bit. He developed some emotional connection issues as a consequence of this. Do I mean that Crispy Parsnips YouTube channel? Quite possibly I do. Because it's getting confusing now because I have 3. That's the one. Yes, that Crispy Parsnips YouTube channel with some good new content. Some. Yeah, I've got my channel for my music and things like that. I've got the VOD channel for these, and I've got the Crispy Parsnips for like edited stuff. So, not all of it's new. In fact, lucky to get 1 video a month, to be honest. I try my best, but all of it is good. That's questionable. Soon, non-patrons will learn about rectangles, but patrons, they can learn about it today. Sign up for $1 a month. Yeah, so we're traveling through time at this point, basically. And young Simon's running around going, like that. And he runs off screen. Then someone else comes out. I think she has sort of... It's sort of difficult to draw this character because, as I say, good characters don't wear makeup. So yeah, young TM comes out. Who, if you remember, was in charge of the orphanage when most of our characters were kids. Before she went all sorceress like. Before she went all makeup. I don't know. What's the look at? Pious hands. She's wearing a very conservative dress. Nothing flashy. Can't be fashionable if you're good. Well, that's not true. Men can be. Women, no. Fashionable women are evil. Back when she was even more boring than she is now. Oh, just you wait. She's like, oi, Simon, where are you going? She's a nun? Not really. She's just sort of, she's in charge of an orphanage. So maybe? Is this Madeline? I don't think this is Madeline. Can we retool this story to be about Madeline? That's not where the hand is. That's bad. She does have black hair, though. That's unrelated. This is DM. Maybe she was born with it. Maybe it's time magic. Who knows? Oh, Simon, you're allowed. Go back here. If only. So... Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm back. Right. Get a drink. Oh, shush. Right, yes, so TM's here. And she looks at us and goes, "Who are you? What are you doing in the orphanage? This is not a place for strangers." Oh, I guess you could argue that's exactly what an orphanage is for. And we say, "Don't worry about us. We're traveling through time. It's fine." And by us, I mean me, because I don't know where everyone else is. With that stupid child you're chasing after. Then, and this is the fun bit, someone else turns up in a swirl of magical vortex. Who could it be? Who could it possibly be? Yes, it's STPP. She's also here, what with the time being a bit naff. You were going to say Kyle. Kyle will turn up at the most unexpected time. But she's dead. She's dying. She's not dead. Do you remember a little bit of lore that we had before? Frame man, please. A little bit of lore that I almost missed from the game, were it not for going back and looking over some bits and bobs. That a sorceress cannot die until she has passed her powers onto somebody else. She's still barefoot. Right, indeed. So I don't know what our plan was. That was something, yes. Turns out it's something quite important. So I guess she's sort of on the brink of death. She's just sort of traveling through time trying to find somebody to pass her powers on to. Simon gonna become a sorceress? Probably TM. I did mention before that just before we go off on this mission, TM tells us about how she became a sorceress. She was working at the orphanage one day, and a dying woman came to the steps of the orphanage and begged that she take her powers of sorcerousness so that she may die. Think TM would remember our time ghost being at the orphanage as well? You'd think. So that happens. STPP dies. TM takes a sorceress power, which will eventually be given to Jiri, which will presumably be passed down through the generations until it's eventually given to STPP, which will then be given to TM, which will then be given to Jiri, which will then be passed down through the generations to be given to STPP, who will then pass it to TM, who will then pass it on to Jiri, who... It's a bootstrap paradox. This game has a bootstrap paradox in it that we helped facilitate. Like, if we hadn't gone to the future, she couldn't have done this and she couldn't have become a sorceress. This whole game is about predeterminism. And yet we have to time travel to change the future in a story about predeterminism? If you're going to do a story about time travel, at least get the two ideas right in your head. You can't do both. You can't do, oh, we're going to change the future and have the entire plot be cyclical. Sorry, this just annoys me. Something like, wow, this horrible 12-year-old seems awfully familiar, and also like that child I helped raise. He's not visibly 12 years old, that's the confusion here. Anyway, while this is happening, TM goes, I'm sorry, who's this? And we explain, oh, this is Sorceress STPP from the future, who you will eventually pass the powers that you just got from her to her, because this story is absolutely sensible. They didn't have to do this. You could have just been naturally inclined to be a sorceress from the beginning. That's what I thought the plot was, but it was not. They actually added this whole thing about inheriting the powers from sorceresses. They made this bad. You know what? Don't worry about it. I wish, because Simon goes, oh no, this is STPP. She's a sorceress from the future. And she goes, what, sorceress from the future? What are you talking about? Who are you? And I'm like, oh yeah, we're part of the Seed. We're part of the military organizations that you helped set up so that we could go into the future and or fight the sorceresses when bad things happen. She's like, I don't know anything of what you're talking about. We're like, Seed, it's the organization you set up so that we can fight sorceresses, including you when you become a sorceress. What I'm saying is that Simon came up with the name Seed in a bootstrappy kind of way. So she never mentioned this. No, she didn't, and she will continue to not mention it. Yeah, so if you want someone to blame for the name Seed, Simon's not a bad place to start. There may be many reasons, but it doesn't matter. Do you see why I like that phrase now? Okay, this is far too triumphant music for this scene. Perfect. Right. The random button never ceases to amaze. But the name Seed comes from somewhere. Who came up with it first? Welcome to Bootstrap Paradoxes. There is no answer. Who wrote Beethoven's Fifth?
This song.
I was going to start the stream with it, but I knew it would come up at some point. So yeah, who had the sorceress powers in the first place? Who came up with the name Seed? Let's kick TM out of the story. This whole I had no memory of this scene until I played it recently, and it simultaneously gives context to so many things and makes so many other things worse. Because it's like you didn't have to have a bootstrap paradox here. You didn't have to have a cyclical, future influences past to influence future thing going on. But they did. For no reason. Well, there may be many reasons, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, we've got more stuff to do. So, once this happens, TM quite rightly says, you should leave now. And we leave. And by that I mean we leave time. Oh, actually no, little baby Simon comes back and says, who's this? And she's like, doesn't matter. There's only one Simon here. You go and play. And then we leave. Why would Future Sorceress give her powers to the person she was controlling? So that she could control her in the past. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to do it. But she doesn't know that, obviously, until she dies. Again, if you're writing a time travel story, make it simple. Don't bring these things in. I think they're clever at the moment. But any amount of analysis on a bootstrap paradox story ultimately finds some sort of problem. Anyway, Now Simon wanders an infinite desert. Because Simon forgot all of his friends. Everybody else is like, oh, Cheery's gone back to the field of flowers and she's waiting there for Simon to turn up. And Simon's just wandering a desert because he's forgotten everything at this point. The strong bonds of friendship that will save everybody. What is happening? Final Fantasy VIII is happening. You're listening, but honestly it's going one ear and right out the other. That's absolutely fine. It's safer that way. We had to go back to the past to make sure the things that happened happened. No, we didn't. We went to the future to make sure that the future wouldn't happen. And that made us go back to the past to make sure that the past would happen, so that the future would happen for us to go to the future to make sure that doesn't happen. Again, you can't have predeterminism in a story about traveling through time to change things. Can't have both. One or the other. They're literally opposites. This game is wild. I know. And it just did not have to be. So yeah, we're now wandering an infinite desert. Which is basically the world map, because the world map is brown and horrible. Have I mentioned how ugly the world is? This is the complaining hour. If there's any time I'm going to complain, it's going to be now. And let's face it, I've been doing it a lot. You haven't? No. Yeah, it's ugly. Most of the landmass of the world is brown. Just brown, featureless brown. I say featureless brown. It looks like wood chip. Or like peat. Apart from the area around Estus, which looks like bleached peat. So that's nice. It's better than what you're doing, miss. You're actually trying to comprehend this mess. Well, that's your problem. No one said you had to. So yeah, we're just sort of wandering a sort of cracked desert. Because Simon has forgotten all of his friends. Because, let's face it, why would he remember them? And it just goes on for infinity, and there's all fog, and I guess a better way of doing fog would be to do this. Souls, what? Peat. What's peat? I think that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah. Still like a woody muddy thing. Peat. It's kind of like halfway between dead plants and soil. It's almost soil, but it's not quite. There's a lot of it in Wales and Ireland, and probably Scotland. A barren deposit resembling soil formed by the partial decomposition of vegetable matter in the wet acidic conditions of bogs and fens, and often cut out and dried and used for fuel in gardening. Peat. Anyway, that's what a lot of the world looks like. Kind of wood chippy peat. They found a couple of preserved bodies in some. Yes, they're very good for preserving bodies. They found, I think, one of the earliest examples of a native human in Britain from like tens of thousands of years ago. You've never heard that word used for it before. I mean, it's not a common word. It's not something you use every day, so that's understandable. And English has many, many words that are unnecessary. Yeah, anyway, we're wandering an endless desert, and as we wander, we get more and more confused, and more not knowing what's going on. until eventually the desert starts closing in around us. And we just end up on a small rock. Because it's metaphorical. We're being isolated. That's what's going on here. And we're like, oh no, we have to remember our friends. This is all done without dialogue, by the way. I should specify. You're a history student that did an archaeology minor. That's, yeah. But did you do archaeology in Ireland? The Lindau Man, amongst others. Cool. Talk about this stuff a lot. Whew. My word, the exciting times you must have, says a mathematician. Yeah, so, hey, I learned about rectangles. They're important. Do you know what? Having done that video, I want to look up more affine geometry. I know a lot of affine geometry is to do with circles, and they're much more awkward to use in perspective, but still. You think rectangles are exciting? Yes, they are. Perspective, it's great. Yeah, I want to do another video on perspective because I've realised that 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point perspective are bollocks, but we'll get to that. Yes, so we end up isolated on this rock, and we're like, oh, we need to remember things and people and stuff. That's probably something that we should have done a while ago. So we start trying to imagine our friends, and basically what we imagine is, do you know what? We can go back. We can have a little tour of the game. Why not? Let's go back to like stream 5. Let's say. Is this going to be a good place to go back to? There's pinches and patches. Yeah, sure. This is fine. We can use this. We go back and we try and remember. We're trying to remember our friends in this haze of post-time death fog. And we start trying to remember our friends, but oh no! We just can't remember what they look. What do they look like? Oh no! What do our friends look like? It's so hard. We cannot remember their faces. They're all weird and blurry and things. Well, at least try and remember one of them. Try and remember Cheery. Oh, the person I'm in love with. Let's try and remember their name. Their face, sorry. Old shielded potato. Let's try and find a good picture of Cheery doing something other than just sort of standing around not doing anything. No, this is Pikachu and his mum. Aw, good times. Oh yeah, this was the Klefki thing, wasn't it? So that's probably a good place to go. Yeah, let's try and remember Cheery's face. Oh, what does Cheery's face look like? And then we essentially get a montage of all the times that we've seen Cheery's face, and it's just all blurred out and weird. It's like, it's mosaiced and like twisty and motion blurred. It's like, oh no! Was that a buff chicken? I can't remember. This is the worst time to tell your audience the protagonist is face blind. Yeah, but he basically has flashes of all that, and he's sort of losing his mind as this is all happening. And then you get the screen that everybody likes to stop. It sort of accelerates, and he's panicking, and it's all weird and all that sort of stuff. And then you have the screen that people like to screenshot, which is Simon here. Roughly speaking. You know it's him because of the hair. And the fluffy thing, like that. Except that where there's a face, there should be... Or where there should be a face, there is... And the hole. And people are like, oh, what does it mean? He's losing his understanding of identity and friends and all that sort of stuff. That's what it means. Og. Og. Nice gradient on that hole. Can I quote that? My friend said I had a nice gradient on my hole. That's something to be proud of. Yeah, this is a gradient I've just been using over the top of everything this whole time. I've been drawing in pink. I don't know if anyone noticed. I've been drawing in pink. I've got a gradient over the top of it. I hate this house at times. Look, I no longer have to say the word seed. I've got to replace it with something. That's why you tell people not to say anything you say out of context. Look, I've been streaming for 2.5 years. The things you could blackmail me with the things I've said. Yeah, so there's that flash. Anyway, cut to Cheery in a field of flowers, having just a whale of a time. Well, I'm not even going to draw it because it's sort of quick scene. She's in the field of flowers and she's like, oh no, where's Simon? Where's Simon? Where's Simon? And eventually, after he's collapsed out of existential panic, she comes along and she's like, oh no, I love him. I will help him out by hugging him and crying. In fact, you commented on the gradient of yours. Yeah. Apparently he doesn't love you. Apparently he's forgotten everything about you. Just like, you know, when you were screaming, we need to go to the place that we said we would go to. In fact, you made this promise. Pretty sure I was just sort of there. If you want to know why I haven't drawn Jive, it's because Jive was too clever to get involved in all this. Jive imagined a better game and went there instead. Sad face. Jive was smart. Jive did that when everyone was going to the future. Jive was like, this is my opportunity. I get to leave now. So yeah, she's there and she's like, oh no, it's sad. And she hugs him and then cries. And then I think as why? I'll be waiting here for what? For you. Okay, so this, right? That's the opening cutscene. That is the first thing you see in the game, and it's this. The entire opening cutscene is massive spoilers for the end of the game. If you want to sit down and try and work out what's going on in the opening cutscene, you're going to spoil a lot of the story. I'll wait for you here in the field of flowers, and then there's deserts, and there's feathers going on, and like, oh no, where are you? And they embrace and crying, etc. Jive went to hang out with the non-binarity, Wide and Grumpy, and Pinches and Patches. Okay. So yeah, then she cries, and as the teardrop falls and splats on his top or something, everything explodes into brightness and, more importantly, flowers. Because she brought him to the field of flowers. Now this is a field of flowers. I'm not bothering to draw a field of flowers at this point, but everything explodes into lightness, and it's radiant sunshine, and it's the power of love. Save the day. How did Cheery get here? The power of love. There's the mountains in the background. But did he actually survive? Is it too late? Is it too late? Maybe he's dead now. I don't know. Anyway. Cut to Kyle fishing on a pier. Cut to Kyle fishing on a pier. This is the next thing that happens in this cutscene. Why? I don't know, let him fish. He's not good at it, he's not catching anything. What are you doing here? He's not anywhere near this. This is happening in Balam. This is going to be the last picture I draw of Kyle. Doesn't look anything like Kyle. For a start, it's tiny ears. That's better. Might go a little bit over this stream. There's still a few things to draw. He just got his ass kicked and he was like, yeah, let's go fishing. Yeah. You barely been important to the whole game, at least of all for the ending. I mean, you wait till we do 10. There's some wonderful characters in that have absolutely nothing to do with anything, and yet they keep turning up. The game's like, these characters are important, and you're like, no, they're not. So yeah, the non-binarity here as well. I can't draw them very well, but they're here. They're also hanging out on the pier. Well, one of them's hanging out on the pier. The other one's getting kicked off the pier. Yeah, so they're alright, they're doing fine. They're having a good time. Be patient, music. We're almost there. He's also fishing. Well, they're also fishing, sorry. But they actually managed to catch a fish. Hey, look, miss! Miss, look! 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 Look, miss, look! They're fishing! Look! They're fishing! In Balam! It's a Balam fish! You know what that means? Okay, we'll go back. Anyway, yeah, so they're having fun on there. Meanwhile, the space potato flies overhead. Anyway, that's the end of that scene. Moving on to a grave in a field. How's the ending going for everyone? You enjoying it? So confused as to why this is the next scene after love is the answer to everything. Yep. So yeah, we cut to a grave in the middle of a field where Jimmy is planting some flowers, or putting down a bouquet of flowers. This is, what was her name? I think it was Jessica, wasn't it? And he's remembering the time his love that he left behind in Windhill to go and find Dishonor Jesse, but also just sort of never came back. That's Jimmy. That's old Jimmy, and he's finally come back to Windhill, visiting the grave. I don't know why he didn't come before, to be honest, but whatever. It's touching, and he remembers that just before he left, they gave each other rings to signify their eternal love, and then he never came back, and then she died. having given birth to an idiot. He's probably wearing shorts now again. And sandals. President of Estes. Give me such a romantic figure. This game's all about love. Have you not picked up on that yet? Hello. We go back to the start. Think you missed a few things. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Also, Dishonored Jesse's here. No. How do I draw Dishonored Jesse? I can't remember. Because obviously Dishonored Jessie was Jessica's daughter. Again, still not entirely sure why she's not a sorceress. Sort of Jessie has big hands. Remember that at the start of the game when we thought this was actually important? I mean, she turned out to be quite important to the plot. She kept putting people's brains back into the past. Yeah, also... Jim and Jenna here, literally as tiny specks on the horizon. They don't even get close-ups, they're just there. Which is brilliant. Is that important? Yes, because that's how STPP could throw her mind back into the past. Jen deserved better. All of the characters in this game deserve better, apart from the ones that actually got the chance. Yeah, and a space potato is flying overhead. And then, if I'm not very much mistaken, credits. So I hope you enjoyed Final Fantasy VIII. Space Potato is photobombing everyone. It's doing its thing, you know. Still not got a lot to do now. That's the problem. Space Pancake's already done. Okay, there is a during credits scene. What do I mean credits? Like names scrolling up on the screen. There's a during credits scene which doesn't really give an awful lot of other context. Basically, everyone's at a party back on the Space Potato. So we see all of the characters who we didn't like. There's most important character story going on here. Is the Pikachu can finally eat some hot dogs, and as a consequence, stuffs his face full of them. To the point that he chokes and somebody else has to come and slap him on the back. Yeah, it's basically been Pikachu's excuse for not having a character was that he likes hot dogs. And it's just a pile of hot dogs. Yeah, for some reason, like the CGI back then wasn't fantastic, generally speaking, when it comes to people. But for some reason, Pikachu in this cutscene is terrifying. I don't know why, just is. Good for him. Not the worst character motivation in the game. Exactly. What else is going on here? We're almost done, by the way. Jenny has a new hat. She stole McCree's hat. Yes. I like the idea McCree's just over here and he hasn't. It's like, yeah, something's off. He's got crumpled bits of paper on his head. Perfect music. Ideal for any situation. As far from that as you can, Jenny. Well, I won't let you know about the not so hidden subtext in this scene between those two characters. Then, now you understand. Velma's in the other room. One, two, three, four, Okay. Then there's TM and Fly, if you remember, they're husband and wife, and now they can live happily as not being possessed by sorceresses, even though I guess theoretically they can, because they didn't stop. I don't know. Can only go back to a fixed point in time, I guess. It's fine, but the war is still gonna happen in the future between all of the White Seed and whatever. I guess they're all still gonna die. But you know, it's not happening now, so. There he goes. The terror. Pikachu, what happened? I don't know, he just looks terrifying in that cutscene. I've given her an expression as if to say, is this actually what I wanted? Well, it's quite small if I remember correctly. I haven't been relevant to this story for ages. Oh, don't post it in Discord, no one needs to see it any further. The answer to TM is no. I think they might get divorced immediately after this, I don't know. By the way, this whole, as you could probably guess by the GIF going on, this whole thing is being shown as if it's like filmed on a handheld camcorder, which I think is supposed to be originally Jenny's, but she hands it off to somebody else halfway through so that we can see Jenny. They've been together for years and her husband did order some students to basically kill her. That was her plan. She got the idea from Simon, it turns out, but that she did organise that prior to her becoming a sorceress. But anyway, this is all happening, and outside on a balcony we see Cheery looking up at the stars. To ruin the mood a bit, this is the same balcony that Velma asked us to go to the weird student sex place with her. But you know, want to spoil a good story moment, do we? Also, he gave his job to a 12-year-old in a 16-year-old body, so yeah. Before I forget. Joe's still here. Is that the balcony that Velma sexually harassed us on? How romantic. It's not that one, but it's the one that she invited us to be sexually harassed on. This was during the party. I don't know if I drew that balcony, but because we were just going to move to another balcony. So yeah, she's here and she's looking up at the stars, and then the footage ends. And the credits continue to roll. But then there's a post-credit sequence when, it turns out Simon was here this whole time. He was here. He's fine. He made it. He is alive, everybody. It's a happy ending. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yay.
Look at them, they're a happy couple. They're so romantic. And then they share a kiss on the balcony, and then the game ends. And it says, "The end," with fancy swirls. They're holding hands. That's close enough. Then the end. Boom. You don't like Cherry, but she deserves better. To be fair, I did make Cheery a lot less whiny in this version. I think that's after the prison break. I think that cutscene. Ooh.
Applause.
Applause. Hang on. There we go. Can you clap with one hand? I keep finding people who can't do it.
Clap, clap, clap.
Clippity clap. Why can't people do it? It's weird. I was going to say that in response to the comment on the October comic, where it's like, give him a round of applause. Oh no, wait. I was going to say, can you not clap with one hand? Just sort of slap the fingers on the palm. Probably sounds weird. Should have a webcam for that. Anyway, this is apparently how we're going to end. I love the fact that Velma's off screen. That's what she deserves. Yeah. It makes a noise, but it doesn't sound like clapping. I am wearing a glove, to be fair. Anyway, yeah. That's it. That's Final Fantasy VIII in its entirety. So mean to people who can't one-hand clap. I don't even remember what that bit's from. Sad, confused. Oh, after defeating. Okay. This trip through Wonderland was brilliant. I'm glad. That sure was a game. Might not. It might have been a film. Next time we will do Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Well then, making it make some kind of sense. Look, the more I tried to explain it, the less sense it made to me. So I have a lower esteem of this game than when I started. So yeah, so many sad moments. Well, one of the many sad moments she has. Yeah. You actually like that film? I remember it being fine. For some reason, I always associate it with Linkin Park. I think they had a music video that was, I don't think it was tied into it, but it looked similar. Anyway. It's got Knockoff Barrett. It's always fun. Yeah. Sorry, beef. Next challenge, Kingdom Hearts. Again, Kingdom Hearts would be pretty straightforward. If you want me to do Kingdom Hearts 2 or 3, that's a different matter. Kingdom Hearts 1, not a problem. Thanks for giving lots of great characters that aren't any of the main characters. All of the peripheral characters. I think people like the peripheral characters just because they don't the writers don't have time to flesh them out. So they can't make them bad. And then you can project. Has like 1% Final Fantasy stuff, but it's cool. What even is Final Fantasy stuff at this point? Does anyone know? I don't think there's anything you can point to and say, that's Final Fantasy. But more on that later. I'm Chris to have to draw Donald and Goofy. I've already drawn Goofy once. I did an animation of Goofy. Do I still have that? No, I don't think I do. Oh, maybe I do. Don't show it. I mean, you know, someone asked. The dawning realization. I might not be able to find it, to be fair. Maybe not. Maybe I can't find it. Oh no, there it is. There it is. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Anyway, I'm gonna do it to Donald as well. But the beak just sort of cracks. No Kingdom Hearts ever. To be fair, we can't start the next draw through just yet because I have to prepare some stuff. Oh, I love it when they're screaming. Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to do for the next few Tuesdays. Maybe we'll do a Fool's AU of this, who knows? Apparently. You know what, the day before I did that Goofy thing, I apparently also drew that. This was a weird art week, I think. Ah, Blob! Look at him go! I forgot you could do that. Oh, I didn't think you could do that. You remember that? Yeah, you were talking about it the other day, I think. Yeah, so maybe we'll do a Fool's AU of this, try and work out how to fix this story. Again, I think as much as I'm proud of the ideas I've come up with over the years, still pretty keen on chibis. Just get rid of time travel altogether. There's a sorceress in space, use her. Yeah, maybe we'll do that on Tuesday, who knows. But yeah, I've got to get ready for the next draw through. I hope you like it. It has potential to be less or more nonsensical than this. But we'll see. Can you have a 10-second cameo on the Fool's AU stream to say fuck you to this game? No, you've got to appear on the Remnant Fool's AU. FF10? No, it's going to be something different. I like to try and make sure that... Well, I say it's something different. It kind of depends. It's going to be of a different kind of format. I'm going to try something we haven't tried before. So, we'll see. When Chibi said Nightmare Before Christmas isn't a musical. Yes. It is. Remnant, the more you read, the less you know. That's a good sign. Always a good sign. Yeah, I will do some reading up on that, and we'll do that some Sunday whenever you guys are free. You say a lot of things. Yeah, you told me that the gradient of my hull was good. Yeah, so... Knife. This is a draw through's cast. Look, we're trying to get it all out now, and then there's going to be the end of this draw through, and the next one will be absolutely fine and sensible. Yeah. It's weird. It's always weird. Like, we've been doing this for 20 weeks. Like, that's... What, 5 months? We've been doing this for... to speak. Oh, Kira. Smile. Yeah, we'll get around to Final Fantasy X at some point, because it's just... Well, presumably we'll do 9 first. We'll go in order. The problem with 9 is that the story's kind of competent, at least up to a point. But anyway. For now, we might do a Fool's AU of this on Tuesday, next Tuesday, and then whenever I'm ready to start the next draw through, I know I have a feeling at least one or two of you will definitely like the next Drawthrough, but we'll see. It remains to be seen. It might be a bit high maintenance, but we'll see. I'm trying to improve on the fighting fantasy ones, which are a bit too dependent on audience participation. And you know, a lot of the time you guys just want to sit back and, you know, draw or doodle or make bread or what have you. Looking forward to it. I hope so. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. I've got work to do first, but once that work's done, I don't have to do anything. That's not true. But yeah. So yeah, look forward to something different for the next Drawthrough. I say different. It really depends. But a different style, let's say. And yeah, thanks for joining me. Thank you for joining me for the entirety of this Drawthrough. 20 weeks of work. It came down to that. It came down to me ranting about bootstrap paradoxes and talking about holes. Yeah, I'm still... Yeah. That whole bootstrap paradox thing just really annoyed me. I did alright. I did fine. The game did most of the work. It's always bound to, yeah. Did I expect anything different? It wasn't until recently I found out about the whole bootstrap thing. You know, by that point, game's over, mash through dialogue, you know. Yeah, what song are we going to end on? What piece of music from Final Fantasy VIII do you think is going to sum this whole thing up? And the obvious punchline here is to do the fish song, but I feel like we can do better than that. I feel like we need we need comfort food. We need something to actually make us happy. Yeah, I know, miss. Jimmy's theme? Problem is Jimmy's theme always gets a copyright strike. Oh wait, hang on. Which Jimmy's theme do you mean? Because there's the cool one, but there's also the bleepy bloopy one. Oh no. That's a scary image. I used to like that smile, now it's scary. The silly one? We can do the silly one. Where is it? Silence and motion. There we go. Well then again, actually, we could the silent film ones are also silly ones, so yeah, anyway, we're half hour over. Time has flown. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed this entire thing. The next Drawthrough is ambitious, but I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. Have a wonderful time, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow for a game. What game? I don't know. Can't be bothered to do the slick transition. Yeah, I don't know. And game. Maybe two. I have an idea to play two games by the same publisher that are similar in structure but very different in presentation, and it'd be interesting to play them back to back. Maybe. I don't know. Might be really boring. Yeah, I wouldn't get your hopes up. The games aren't... Like, there's a reason I'd be doing 2 in 1 stream rather than 1 on 2 streams. They're not thrilling. But we'll see. Also, hey, maybe at some point we'll do some board game stuff with people. That's something we could do at some point. Enough rambling. My throat is actually a little bit tired. Thank you for coming along. It's been genuinely good time. Always enjoy these things. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week. And I'll see you around. Goodbye.